Hi everyone, this is Leah from Palm and Grace. If you're new here, my name is Leah and I'm a spreadsheet creator. In this video, we are going to be going over how to use my wedding guest list spreadsheet. I created this spreadsheet as a current bride-to-be, and it's the spreadsheet that I use to even map out my own guest list for my upcoming wedding. If you have not yet grabbed a copy of this spreadsheet, I'll leave a link to it in the description box below. I hope you find it as helpful as I have. So without further ado, let's jump into the video. The very first tab you're going to want to fill out is the Start tab. In this tab, there is some information that you're going to want to input that will be used on the guest list tab. Some of the information is optional, but the main things you'll want to fill out are the bride's name, the groom's name, the currency symbol, which you can type in your symbol or copy and paste it in, any tags for the bride's guests, groom's guests, and any mutual guests. And then if you're having different meal options that people will need to include in their RSVP, you can include these meal options as well. And after you fill out this tab, you can then move on to the guest list tab. This tab is the guest list tab, which also keeps track of invites, thank yous, gifts, meal options, and more. The reason that I decided to condense this all into one tab is because it gives you the most accurate information. If I split it into different tabs, then different things could easily move around, and I know that we don't want to deal with any of those hassles before or after our wedding, so it all streamlines perfectly into this tab, and I'm going to show you exactly how to use it. Now, for the purpose of examples, I've gone ahead and added in a ton of details into this spreadsheet so that it's already populated. But when you open this up, it's likely going to appear blank, and some of the charts may seem like they have errors, but that's only because you don't have any data added in yet. Once you add in some information, all the charts should begin to populate. First things first, the bride and groom's names should automatically appear at the top like this, and then you can see a count of all your other guests going down like this. For this spreadsheet, you're going to add in the first name and last name of each guest attending. While this may seem a little more tedious, this is the way that you are going to get the most detailed tracking of exactly who's coming, exactly who's not, meal options, gifts, and so much more. So yes, while it might take a little longer to type in the names individually, I really think you'll be happy you did it after. For each guest, you'll add in the first name, last name, and then the group number is optional, but I really like adding in a group number because if you decide to sort or filter your data like this, and all of a sudden all your names are mismatched, you can just sort the groups A to Z again, and the people who belong together will go right back together. You can do group numbers however you want. I do them by whoever is in a family or attending with a specific person. So if you have a friend and they're bringing their girlfriend, then you could have them with the same group number. And all you have to do is add in a 1, 2, 3, and so on for each of the different groups. For example, if you had a family of 5, then you might want to add all those names into the same group number. Again, this section is optional, and if you don't want to worry about it, you totally do not have to include it. After this, you're going to select from the dropdown whether the guest is from the bride, the groom, or both, and then you're going to add in your guest tag. If you have a ton of guest tags, you can begin typing in, for example, immediate family, and then select the one that applies. Then you're going to go through and check off who you're for sure inviting, who you're not going to invite, and people that you may invite. We also have a section where you can check off if certain people are children, which can help because I know my venue cuts the cost for children of a certain age and even makes them free if they're under a certain age. On my own spreadsheet, I just added in the actual name of the kids into the notes column. And you can choose whatever you want child to mean for you. So if you want children to mean people under 13, then you can do that. If you want children to mean kids under 3, then you can do that as well. However you want to use it for your specific wedding. If there's a certain column that you don't want to use at all, like the group column, and you just want to hide it completely, you can right-click the column in the upper bar and then click Hide Column, and it will disappear just like this. A few other things I want to quickly note before moving on is that the Control or Command F hack is going to be one of your best friends when using the spreadsheet. You're going to have so many names, and if you want to find a specific name really quick, you can do Command F or Control F on your keyboard, and this should pop up over here, and then you can type in the name and then use the arrows to go right to those names in your list. Also, sorting and filtering these tabs is truly going to be one of your best friends. For example, if I only wanted to view people who I may be inviting, I can select these 3 lines here, and I'm going to filter it to only show my maybes just like this, and it makes it super easy. If I wanted to undo my filter, I could just click the filter button and then go to select all, and it will appear like nothing happened. You could do this with certain guest tags. You could see all the children by just viewing true. You can also sort your guest list instead. So maybe you want to sort by last name like I did before. It is totally up to you how you do it, but I really recommend sorting and filtering the tables which extend across the entire tab because you may end up with so many names on this list. And yes, if you sort or filter in one column, it will sort and filter all of them throughout the tab. So for example, if I were to sort the people that I want to send save the dates to, it updates all of the rows just like this. Going back to this section, here you can add in addresses and contact information for all of your guests. What I would suggest if you have multiple people in the same family is to just add in the contact information or address for the first person in your group. For example, if you have a family of 4, you don't need to add in the address for each person, especially if they're only getting one invite for the group. I think that can definitely save you lots of time and energy. Moving on, here is the Save the Date section. In the first column, you are going to check off any of the people that you want to send a save the date to, and then in the column next to it, you'll check it off once you've sent them the save the date. The numbers and the pie chart will update above. So for example, you can see when I check and uncheck this box, everything up here updates. Again, you may only need to send one save the date for certain groups of people. Again, you probably won't want to send every single person on your list a save the date. So checking off, for example, just one person in a family will help you to get an accurate count of how many save the dates you'll actually need to send. As you can see in this example, I just checked off the boxes next to addresses that I had, which meant I was just going to send it to that person in the group. If I wanted to, as I did before, I could filter this section to just show the people that I want to send save the dates to, and it makes it much more easy when I'm checking off who they've actually been sent to. So that's just another example of how using the sorting and filtering can help you. The invite section is essentially the same. I believe I just checked off the boxes based on who I was sending the save the dates to because they would also be getting an invite, and then you can check them off once they're sent as well, and the details will update. Next is the RSVP section where you can check off how people have RSVP'd. There are 3 options: yes, no, and pending. And as you add in RSVPs, the pie chart up here will update. If you want a more detailed breakdown on exactly how many people have RSVP'd yes, no, or are still pending, you can click the chart and hover over the sections to see the exact numbers and percentages. The next section is where you can add in meal choices, which is totally optional, and if you are having a ceremony where people have to select a different meal option. If not, you can totally choose to not use this section, or you can use it just to add in any accommodations. And of course, for this section, you can also add in options for the bride and groom, and there will be detailed counts at the top. Now, what I would recommend for this section is filtering the RSVPs to only show the people who are attending. That way you're only adding in meal options for them, and then you can select the option from the drop-down that is their meal option. If you wanted to, for example, only see food accommodations, you could filter this section over here to not show any blanks, and now you can see all of the food options. And again, that's just another example of how sorting and filtering can help you in this tab. I'm going to just undo it by selecting them and clicking select all, just like this. The second to last section to the right is where you can keep track of gifts. Again, it may help you to filter the RSVPs to yes for this section, but here you can track different gifts from the different guests, add in any cash amounts, any gift card amounts, and then check off once you have sent a thank you. At the top, you can see the detailed breakdowns for this section. And last but not least, to the far right, we have a section where you can add in any other notes for any of your guests. So that is it for the guest list tab. Yes, it is very comprehensive, but it will give you exact counts and help you to see very clearly exactly everything that is going on with your guest list, attendance, and more. This is what I wanted when I was building out the spreadsheet for my own wedding, and I hope that you find it useful as well.
and I'm really excited for you all to use it.
And that is it for how to use this wedding guest list spreadsheet. I truly hope that you love it as much as I do. I know for me, it was such a help when I was planning out my guest list for my own wedding. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to help. And if you'd like to grab a copy of this spreadsheet, remember that there's a link in the description box below. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and thank you so much for watching.